You know, one of the biggest roadblocks for anyone who wants to make a game is turning that amazing idea in your head into something you can actually play, especially if you have zero programming experience. So today, we're going to look at a tool that's designed to completely tear down that wall, Pixel Game Maker MV.
I mean, come on. We've all been there, right? You get that lightning in a bottle moment, this awesome character, a whole new world, a really cool game mechanic, and you can just see it all playing out in your mind. It's so exciting, so vivid, but then that big, scary question hits you. How in the world do I actually make this thing?
And this just nails the problem perfectly. Over here on one side, you've got your incredible idea, just bursting with potential. And on the other side, the code. It's like this giant, intimidating wall that can stop a fantastic concept dead in its tracks. This is that gap, right? The gap between your imagination and actually making something real that trips up so many people.
But what if you could just walk around that wall? What if you could bypass it completely? Well, that's exactly where our tool for today comes into the picture. So let's meet what could be the perfect key to unlock those pixel art dreams of yours.
So what is it, exactly? Put simply, Pixel Game Maker MV is a game engine built for a very specific person. The creator who wants to make awesome 2D pixel games without getting all tangled up in endless lines of code. It's all about taking a more visual, more intuitive approach to building a game.
And this quote from the developers, it really says it all. This whole piece of software is a direct answer to that problem we were just talking about. It's built for the idea person, the artist, the storyteller, anyone who wants to bring their vision to life with just their computer and this tool.
Okay, so we get it. It helps you skip the coding part. That's huge. But what can you actually build with it? Let's dive into the possibilities, because honestly, the range of games you can tackle is seriously impressive. And we're not just talking about one simple type of game. I mean, think about it. Classic side-scrolling action platformers, top-down adventures like an old-school Zelda or RPG, or even these chaotic four-player local multiplayer battle games. You can make shoot-'em-ups, sprawling Metroidvanias, puzzle games, the list goes on. That flexibility is a massive, massive draw.
So how does all this work without code? Well, the whole process is kind of broken down into these four main steps. First, you start with your art. You make your animations. Then you build the world, your game map. After that, you get to define objects, things like your hero or the bad guys, and you decide how they behave visually. For example, you can make an enemy walk back and forth just by setting a few simple rules. No code needed. And finally, you just place all your creations into the scene. That's the core loop. Now, it all sounds pretty amazing in theory, but let's be real, no tool is ever perfect. So to give you the complete picture, we really need to have an honest look at where Pixel Game Maker MV truly shines and maybe where it stumbles a bit, all based on what actual users are saying. All right, let's break this down. On the plus side, it's absolutely fantastic for making those simpler side view or top-down games. And people say it's genuinely fun to use, almost like a super-powered version of block coding. Plus, the community is growing, which is always a good sign. But on the flip side, that visual scripting system, while it isn't code, it has its own steep learning curve. It's a complex system you have to master. It also has pretty limited language support and a much, much smaller community than giants like Unity or Godot. And that means way fewer tutorials out there to help you when you get stuck. So with all those pros and cons swirling around, you might be thinking, okay, but is it actually right for me? And the good news is, there's a really practical, basically zero-risk way to find that out for yourself. First off, here's a little pro tip for you. Keep an eye out for Steam sales. This software has gone on sale for as much as 60% off in the past. So if you're patient, you can snag it for an absolutely fantastic price. But you know what? You don't even have to wait for a sale to give it a spin. And that brings us to what I like to call the brilliant Steam trial method. Thanks to Steam's super generous refund policy, you can actually buy the software at full price, spend up to 2 hours playing around with it, and I mean really dig in and see if it clicks. And if you decide it's not your thing, you can get a full refund, no questions asked. It's basically a free 2-hour deep dive demo. So, after all that, we're back to the big question, aren't we? Is this the tool? Is this the thing that's finally going to unlock that game idea you've had for so long and bring it into the real world?
Look, here's the most important thing to remember. Pixel Game Maker MV is not trying to be a giant do-everything engine like Unity or Unreal. It's not a Swiss Army knife. Think of it more like a precision instrument, perfectly tuned for one specific dream, making a 2D pixel art game when you're not a programmer.
And when you look at it that way, you realize the tool gives you everything else. It gives you the framework, the logic, the interface. It's all there, ready for you to start building worlds and telling stories. The only thing it can't possibly provide is that initial spark of an idea. So really, the final question isn't about the software at all. It's about you. What will you create?